How do we break an overthinking loop if we're stuck in it? And what the heck is this overthinking loop? We are going to talk about all of that today because I am opening up a 3-day challenge and I wanted to make kind of a little shorter video. We're going to see if I can stick to that promise about what is an overthinking loop and why is it so dang hard to get out of and how do we start to move these things forward. Hi, hello, I am Mackenzie and this is Big Love Studio. I help intuitive practitioners trust themselves in their business, in their practice, so that they can serve more people well and including themselves. Um, I'm so happy you're here, even if you're not a practitioner, because I know I have a few people who are hanging out. All of these things really apply to all of life. but um but I do specifically help practitioners. But if you are not a practitioner, you're welcome here anyway. Also, I got a new camera. Can you tell? It's just a little webcam, but it's a heck of a lot better than the laptop one that I was using. So, anyway, welcome. Glad you're here. Before we get into the overthinking loop, I want to tell you a little bit more about this 3-day challenge that I'm doing. It's free. It is a 3-day challenge that starts on April 23rd. If you are here on April 23rd, you can still join us because it will be open for longer than that. But we're going to have a little live event on Saturday. We're going to talk about breaking the overthinking loop and how we actually do that in practice. Because I think sometimes we can intellectualize things quite a bit, especially as empathic people in the world, especially as people who are like feeling the discomfort of feeling all the feelings all the time. Me too. And I want you to get it into your body and actually be able to move with it instead. So, before we get into the overthinking loop, before we get into all of that, I want to say this thing about nervous system regulation. Nervous system regulation is very popular right now. I know that you have heard about it, even if you don't quite know exactly what it is. If you're a practitioner, you probably know what it is because it might be part of your practice and helping people through that nervous system regulating states, right? We want nervous system regulation is all about calming a stress ridden system. We want to get into the parasympathetic nervous system instead of the sympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic is where we can rest and digest. Sympathetic nervous system is where we are in fight or flight in the lizard brain of the whole thing. And we want, in order for us to move forward and take action, we want to be in that rest and digest state, that place where we're like, nothing is chasing me. I am safe. I have a full belly. I'm fine. And I can take the steps forward that I need to step forward with. Oftentimes when we're overthinking though, we're in a stress response, and overthinking is one of those things where I don't even think I realized that I was in a stress response when I was overthinking so much. Um, I didn't realize for a while that that was actually a stress state. And but it's kind, it has those same kind of feelings about it, right? Where we're like, okay, if I can just get it right, then I'm going to be safe. And and I think it can get us all kind of like wound up and stuck. So, the idea would be that you would regulate your nervous system to move yourself out of it. But I think what is kind of happening now with this trend of nervous system regulation is that I'm wondering if we're actually suppressing emotions that are just uncomfortable to feel rather than moving out of a stress state. Does that make sense? Like, I just feel like when everybody's doing something, like the trend thing, not that everybody doesn't need nervous system regulation now, because wow, we're in a wild world at the moment. But are you using the nervous system regulation to then move yourself forward? Or are you just using it to dull an emotion that you're feeling and then not take the action step? This is a question. This is like a question that I have lately. Um, and it's something I suspect. But I think that what I think needs to happen is that we calm the nervous system, we notice the feeling that we're having in the body, and then we're taking action to move it forward, even if it's just a tiny little step. For me, I was stuck in this overthinking loop recently, and my tiny step that I made for myself is just to post one story on social media, because I was making it like this huge thing that I had to do in my head, and over planning, overthinking about it, over strategizing. And I was like, okay, listen, the only thing you need to do is post one story on Instagram. That's it. And as soon as I did that, my body was like, oh, okay, relax a little bit. We have a little safety now. I know that, you know, I took the next step forward instead of delaying and delaying and delaying and delaying and just nervous system regulating up until that point so that I wasn't feeling the discomfort. But we can learn a lot from our feelings when we're not just suppressing the feelings. And I think that sometimes we just intellectualize them, nervous system regulate, suppress them, and then the stress comes back because we actually haven't dealt with it or like worked with it. And then we're back in a stress response. And then it keeps going and keeps going and it keeps going. And that's what I call the overthinking loop. And maybe you've already decided on how you're going to move forward, but then the nervous system gets activated again. I feel like I can't move. I'm in freeze state. I'm in overthinking state. I'm in over planning state. And then I'm going to regulate the nervous system again. And I'm not going to take the action because, well, I'm still thinking about it. I'm only speaking from experience here, my own experience. So anyway, in um the promise that I'm going to keep this video shorter, this is what we're all talking about in the 3-day challenge that's free that I'm doing this week, April 23rd through April 25th. If you're here before, during, after that, it's still open. So go check it out. The link will be below. But I think what a lot of people are missing is that action step and taking action as the nervous system is regulated from a place of this doesn't need to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. I'm actually going to gain a lot of information after I take this step. And then I can figure out what to do after that. Whew, it's a practice that's taken me a long time to get to and to figure out how to move with, and I'm still practicing all the time, but I want to teach you what I've already learned. And kind of my 3-step process to get there. And this is the thing that I do literally every day. The last 2 days in my business, I have felt a little panicky, a little nervous, a little stuck in that overthinking loop, and this is exactly what I did. So, it's really about noticing the pattern and then deciding that you're going to take a moment for yourself to self-regulate, notice what's happening in the body, acknowledge what's happening in the body, and then move forward from there. And actually take a next action piece. I have done this every single day, every single day. And when I tell you that, and this is just in the area of my business. And so I want you to know that this is something that you can use in your entire life. And it's a pattern you can repeat over and over, and a practice that you can repeat over and over every single day of your life if you want to help you keep taking steps forward. I was stuck for many, many years and unable to actually actually move myself forward into a practice that felt good to me. And I slowly started taking these little action steps and got to where I am now, which feels a lot better. And it's always it's it's always the next thing, right? Life keeps throwing the lessons and the new stuff your way. If you've been here for any amount of time, you know that. And I'm guessing you have because you're not a baby watching my video. So we need practices that are going to help us lean into that self trust. And if you're watching this up until this point, I know that you probably clicked on it because you're in some kind of overthinking loop too. So I want to invite you personally to this 3-day challenge. I hope that you come and learn some skills for yourself. Like I said, it's free. Why not? Um, it's not going to be a whole bunch of stuff that you can't ever complete or get finished. It's going to be bite-sized lessons that you can then bring into a practice that you get to then use over and over again throughout your life. So I know it's going to be great, and I hope to see you there. I'm going to put the link below, and thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Like, subscribe, do all the things, but absolutely check out the link below and come to the 3-day challenge. Especially if you watched this far. I know that you're looking for something to shift things for you and get you out of this overthinking loop. This will be a digestible way to go about it. And I'm going to give you good information that's not going to be too over the top, but it will help you sink into this practice, and you'll be able to use it all the time. Okay, that's enough. Thank you for being here. I'm sending you a lot of big love. I'll see you in the next video.